Hey, good day everyone. Pasay Butter here. We are now on this June 20, 2024 MLB Game Day. We have 9 games for today. So, let's just keep it in tight with just one video. Anyway, it's not like the other, the previous days wherein there were like, I don't know, 14, 15 games in a game day. So let's go ahead and again discuss all games all at this one video. Now, before we proceed, I'm just inviting everyone who have not subscribed yet to our YouTube account or YouTube channel, Pasay Baller. Please click on the subscribe button below. At the same time, hit on that bell logo. That way, automatically, you guys will be receiving notifications whenever new videos are uploaded. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. There are lots of afternoon games, most of which are afternoon games for this game day. Let's kick things off by talking about this Arizona Diamondbacks and Washington Nationals matchup. Diamondbacks, they have a record of 36 and 38, while the Nationals, they got a record of 36 and 37. They're just half a game apart from each other. The game will actually start at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be 1:05 a.m. here in Manila. Now, the starting pitchers that these two teams have, it will be Nelson for Arizona. He's got a record of 4 wins and 5 with an ERA of 5.49. Now, for Washington National, they will be displaying Gore, who's got a record of 6 wins and 5 and an ERA of 3.24. All right, now this particular matchup or this particular series rather has been tough for me. I couldn't seem to catch it. So it's gonna be very tough. So I'm just gonna be basing it on whatchamacallit, on the trend. At the same time, I'm gonna base it on numbers. All right. Now for this particular starting pitching matchup, it will be Washington Nationals who's got the advantage because of Gore. He's got better record. He's also got better ERA. Now, not only that, the Washington Nationals, they are also coming off a win. They actually win last night. They won last night by a score of 3-1, if I remember it right. Now, Washington is also at home. So, all those three, it's going to be very hard, to go against them. I understand Arizona Diamondbacks, overall or in general, is still the better team, especially on offense. But for this particular game or for this particular matchup, I'm gonna side with Washington Nationals, holding on to those factors that I mentioned: pitching, momentum, and home court advantage. So in this particular matchup, we will have Washington Nationals, and let's do money line. Now, on the next matchup, and before we proceed, again, I would just like to congratulate those subscribers. We actually won again for our best pick yesterday. The best pick that we had yesterday, by the way, for those who would want to know, was Pittsburgh Pirates. And Pirates actually won 1-0. Now, if you are actually interested in subscribing to us, if ever you would be subscribed, now you will be getting the best pick that we have for the day, and we will be sending it over to y'all. Just reach out to us through Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, or even Messenger account. The information or the details, by the way, are in the descriptions of our videos. Okay, and so let's move on to the second game. This will be Seattle Mariners with a record of 44 and 32, going up against Guardians with a record of 45 and 26. That game will be at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be 1:10 a.m. here in Manila. Looking at the pitchers, Seattle would be displaying Castillo, or for some here in the Philippines, we pronounce it as Castillo. Castillo with a record of 6 wins and 7 losses, and his ERA is a bit so-so with 3.32. But his record is below 500%. If you take a look at Cleveland's starting pitcher, that would be Allen. He's got a great record of 7 wins and 3, but a high ERA of 5.3. Now that's gonna be confusing, though, right? He's got a good record, but his ERA has actually gone up lately. Guardians, they actually won. And it was a dominating performance by them last night. On this particular game, I'm gonna still side with Cleveland Cav. This is gonna be like the third day that I'm saying Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna side with Guardians. There you go, Cleveland Guardians. They got the momentum They are at home. Yes, the ERA of their starting pitcher is not good, but he has been winning. He has been winning with displaying those 7 wins and only 3 losses. So I know it may be like a question mark to some, but on this particular matchup, I would still side with Cleveland Guardians. Another factor that I am considering as to why I'm picking Guardians is that as compared to how they were last week, or perhaps earlier than that, is that they are healthier now. Right, so our pick on this one would be Cleveland Guardians, and we'll go ahead and do it moneyline. Moving on to the third game, that'll be Tampa Bay Rays with a record of 35-39, and Minnesota Twins with a record of 41-33. That was a great matchup that they had last night. It was close. It went into the extra inning, and wow, that was great. A 1-point win, a 1-run win by Tampa. This game will actually be at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be 1:10 a.m. here in Manila. Now for Tampa, they would have Littell with the record of 2 wins and 5 losses and an ERA of 4.24 starting for them. Now for Minnesota, it'll be Woods Richardson with a great record of 2-1 and a better ERA of 3.29. I really felt like Minnesota should have won that game last night because if not because of that error that they had in the extra inning, but of course it is what it is. Things happen. I expect a huge comeback by Minnesota on this one. It's not like it's going to be like blowout, but it's going to be an easier win for them. They have the better pitcher. Little has been losing for Tampa, and at the same time, Minnesota is the hotter team, so to speak. I know they came from a loss, and I know that they would want to come back from it and perhaps start another streak. So my pick on this one would simply be Minnesota Twins moneyline. Now moving on to the fourth game, or for the fourth pick. This will be Houston Astros with a record of 34 wins and 40 losses, going up against Chicago White Sox with the record of 20-55. This game will be at 2:10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be 2:10 a.m. here in Manila. Now let's take a look at their starting pitchers. For Houston Astros, it will be Arrighetti with a record of 3 wins and 6 losses and an ERA of 6.37. Wow. Flexen will be starting for Chicago. He's got a record of 2 wins and 6 and an ERA of 5.35. I don't know if you were able to watch the game last night between these two teams. Houston Astros, they were able to get their offense going. And White Sox, if I could remember, they only had 1 run, and that was a solo home run. Nothing else. I see some hits, but they were not really able to convert. But on this one, man, seeing the starting pitcher that Houston will be displaying, I know Chicago White Sox has not been performing well for the entirety of this. Not entirety because we're still in June, but as to how they are and they've been, Chicago has been struggling big time. But this is going to be one of those opportunities wherein I would actually side with them. I think this is going to be a good chance, and I haven't really seen the odds yet, but I feel like it will be a great risk to take Chicago White Sox on this particular game, considering that they are at home, considering that Houston Astros has been inconsistent lately, and their starting pitcher hasn't really been good as well. So my pick on this one would be Chicago White Sox, and I'm actually willing to go and try it on moneyline. Right, so moving on, this will be another interesting matchup. LA Dodgers with a record of 46 wins and 30 losses, going up against Colorado Rockies, and Rockies are actually having a record of 26 and 48. That one will start at 3:10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be 3:10 a.m. here in Manila. Now, I don't know if you guys have been watching the series, but man, if you were able to watch the game last night, I'm happy for Colorado to actually win that game. I felt like they deserved it because the game a couple of nights ago, for me, that was a robbery. It was out. Colorado should have taken that game. But nah, what happened was it turned out to be a 3-run home run by the Dodgers, giving them the win. So I really wanted Colorado to win last night, and they did. Now, looking at this particular matchup, the starting pitcher for LA Dodgers with this tone, man, it's got a great record of 7 wins and 2 losses with an ERA of 3.01. It would be Black, who would be starting for Colorado, having a record of 3-4 and an ERA of 4.65. What I've seen on this particular series is that LA Dodgers have become vulnerable, and of course, every team is vulnerable, but they have been so vulnerable. If you know what I'm saying, they could have easily been down 0-2, and they should have been down 0-2, but right now it's been 1-1. This is going to be like a tiebreaker after those 2 games. I would love Colorado to win the matchup, but looking at pitching, that has been the huge, and that has been the main problem of Colorado. Their offense is fine, their hitting is actually great, but man, going up against Stone as the starting pitcher of LA, it's gonna be very tough for them. And again, sometimes Colorado, and we've seen a lot of games when Colorado is actually hitting well. It's just that they're not able to handle the game properly towards the end. My pick on this one would be LA Dodgers, and I'm doing it money line. All right, so so far we've had, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like the 5th game, right? Okay, so let's the 6th game. It will be. Hold up, I pressed something. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the next game. This will be Kansas City Royals with a record of 41-34, going up against Oakland Athletics with a record of 28-48. That one will start at 3:37 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be 3:37 a.m. here in Manila. Now for Royals, they will be having Lugo as their starting pitcher. What a record, 10 wins and 2. ERA is so decent with 2.4. Going up against Spence, who's also having a decent record with 4-3, above 500%, with an ERA of 3.95. Oakland Athletics, they have been winning 2 games straight, right? Let me take a look at the scores again. They won last night with a score of 5-1. They also won a couple of nights ago with the record of 7-5. Now, it would really be great to see Oakland Athletics go 3 straight. I'm a huge fan of Oakland, even though I'm a Chicago Cubs fan, right? I follow Oakland, but I feel like this will be the game wherein Kansas City Royals will have a bounce back. As you can see, they would be having Lugo starting for them, and man, they barely lose whenever Lugo starts for them. And it's been back-to-back wins for Oakland Athletics. This is actually the perfect time wherein Kansas City Royals will actually make them feel why they are the better team and why they are having such a record above 500%. With 41-34. My pick on this one would be Kansas City Royals. I'm going money line. Right, so let's move on to another great matchup, man. Orioles going up against Yankees. This one will be at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 4:05 a.m. here in Manila. This is like great. Orioles having a record of 48-25. New York Yankees, they got a record of 51-25. They've been going at it, for the past couple of games. I was able to watch the game last night, and man, it was so close, right? 7-6. And I know there have been some issues about the challenge that happened towards the extra inning, but again, it is what it is. So let's take a look at this matchup. Orioles will be displaying Irvin as their starting pitcher. Wow, 6 wins and 3 losses. That's his record with an ERA of 3.03. While the New York Yankees, they would have Gil. Sorry about that. Gil with the record of 9 wins and 1. Wow, 90%. And an ERA of 2.03. All right. Now I know Orioles, and I got a lot of respect. Orioles, they are scary, Orioles, they can actually give you money lots of times, But this is one of those games wherein it's just so scary to go up against the Yankees. We all know how capable New York Yankees are to hit those runs, to hit those singles, doubles, whatever. There's no question about their offense, but having Gale pitching for them is just tremendously great. I guess his numbers show that they are at home. They are coming off that loss, and I'm actually looking at them taking it as some sort of motivation coming onto this game. Anyway, they are at home. It's totally different when you're coming off a loss, and then you still have a game tomorrow, but you're on the road. It's kind of different right now. They are at home. They lost last night, and you're like, we got to get this shit. We got to get this shit. You are playing in front of your home crowd, and I'm looking at this particular game wherein the New York Yankees would be able to do that. I'm expecting Gil to be the Gil that he has been this season, and I actually expect lots of offense going on for both squads. But at the end of the game, I think it will be the New York Yankees who will take home the W. My pick would be the New York Yankees, and I'll go money line. Right, we only have like a couple of games left. This will be San Francisco Giants with a record of 36-39, going up against St. Louis Cardinals with a record of 36-37. Almost the same record. They have the same number of wins, just different, just a difference of a couple of losses. Right. That one will actually start at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be 7:15 a.m. here in Manila. San Francisco Giants, they will be having Win as their starting pitcher. Wow, what a scary record. He's having a record of 3-7. I know that he's been having a bad record. I just didn't know that his ERA is this bad. His ERA is at 6.66, with an extra scary factor with that number, right? Going up against the starting pitcher of St. Louis, who would be Palante. He's got a record of 2 wins and 3. And an ERA of 4.6-1. Definitely, these two starting pitchers are not the best pitchers that these two teams have. But if you take a look at it, it'll be Palante who would still has some better showing on this particular season. Plus the fact that St. Louis, in terms of their offense, you can rely on them. They got Goldschmidt. They got a lot of people going on for their offense. Sometimes it's just about momentum. Sometimes it is just about their pitching. And now they are at home. So I had a lot of questions about their game against Miami Marlins, about some of their decisions. But now that they are at home, now that they're up, now that they're having some sort of an advantage in terms of pitching, I actually expect St. Louis Cardinals to actually win on this. I expect San Francisco Giants to actually fight back and all that. But at the end of the game, I believe St. Louis Cardinals would actually win the game. So my pick on this one would be St. Louis Cardinals, and I'm going to do money line. All right, so for our last game, this will be the battle between Milwaukee Brewers with a record of 44-30 going up against San Diego Padres with a record of 38-40. That one will actually start at 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be 9:40 a.m. here in Manila. Now, looking at the starting pitchers for Brewers, they would have Wilson. He's having like a decent record of 4 wins and 3, ERA of 3.84. Mazer is the one starting for Padres. 0 wins and 2, ERA of 7.82. I'm not gonna take a lot of time. Milwaukee Brewers, they are coming off a win. Milwaukee Brewers, they are having a better record. They are being the better team. But in paper, one can actually argue that it's San Diego is actually the better team, right? But they're not able to convert that into wins. Not that much, at least still. On this season, you can see they are still below 500%, and the advantage in the starting pitching is just tremendously huge. I love San Diego. I love their hitters, Soto and all that. But I just can't trust Mazer right now. You can see his ERA just is scary, And again, Milwaukee Brewers, they are coming off a win, so I expect some momentum coming in for them approaching this game. So my pick on that particular matchup will be Milwaukee Brewers, and I'll go ahead and do it money line. Again, those are the games that we have for today. For those who are interested to sign up and to subscribe to our MLB best pick of the day, just reach us to us. Again, the instructions and the details would be at the bottom part of this particular page. Peace out, pasa love, and God bless.